In this video, you will learn how to make a double pleated Turkish corner pillow. I'm Susan Woodcock. Thank you for joining me. Here are the details for the pillow I'm making in this how-to. It's 21 by 21 inches finished. I'm using a 22-inch insert. That's a 1090 fill, and the fabric is from Duraleague. It's called Dakar. You'll cut the front and back pieces 24 inches by 24 inches. Place one piece face up and the other piece face down on top. And now I'm going to mark the corners. Mark 4 inches from each corner and draw a line. And that will make a triangle shape there on each corner. So repeat that for every corner. Four inches and 4 inches, and draw a line. On the center of one side, mark 1 inch, and then make sure you find the center there and just make a T. So there's that T shape. And then draw an arc from the center to the previous line that you drew. And you want this to be a smooth, soft arc, not a straight line. And then you can cut out the shape, cutting off one corner and the arc from the center over. And then I'll use that as a pattern to cut all the other sides. So first I'm going to fold that up to get the rest of that arc shape. You could also do this on a piece of pattern paper just to create a pattern that you can use to cut your pillows. And so now I've cut the whole pillow out. It has the arc on each side. The corners are cut. And I'm going to mark the center of each corner. I'm cutting a little notch for each corner. You could draw a line, a little mark with a pencil, or you could also mark it with a pen. But I like doing the little notches. It's very fast, and I know they're not going to fall out like a pen. So just a little teeny tiny notch. Now I'm going to pleat the corners. So I have the notch in the center. I'm going to draw a mark 1 inch on either side of the center. Now I'm using a ruler. You can see I also have a gridded work table, which is 1 inch grids. So that would be very easy just to use the table to mark. I'm bringing over the outside edge of that corner to the mark and keeping the cut edges straight and even. That's on the left. Now let's do the right. Bring the corner over to the mark and bring the fabric around so that the cut edges are even. You have to manipulate the fabric. It's going to feel a little awkward. And then bring that pleat to the center to make a small pleat in the center. And the other side, finish by bringing the previous pleat over to butt together at that center mark. Isn't that pretty? There's one. Now let's review and do it again. Finding the center, mark 1 inch over on each side of the center. Bring the corner over to the mark and then the fabric down so that the cut edges are even. And pin that in place. Bring the corner over to the mark and the fabric down so the cut edges are even. And now bring those over to the center. And that's a little easier. That one's along a straight edge, so it's much easier. Bring that over to the center. And that's a smaller pleat. There was only 1 inch in that pleat on each side. And now you can take that to the sewing machine and stitch over those pleats to hold them in place. That is much more secure than leaving pins in, and you want to make sure that the pleats are stable and in place so they won't shift when you're sewing the front to the back. Now you can sew your welt cord on the pillow if you're using welt cord. You could sew a flange with a pleated corner. That would be beautiful on this style pillow. You could sew brush fringe or twist cord or another type of trim in the seam. But I'm using 5/32 inch welt cord. In this video, I'm not going to go through the complete steps of finishing a pillow. And this video is about the corners. But you can see how this is done now. The welt cord is sewn on, and I'm going to line up the pleats. That's the most important part. You want there to be a mirror image on each side of the welt cord with the pleats lining up. So I marked the center. I'm going to pin those in place. And sometimes I'll actually sew them in place, and that way I know they're not going to shift if the pleated corners are sewn in place. If you are going to do that, make sure that you've figured out your closure. If you're doing a zipper closure, you might want to sew one side of the zipper on and then continue lining up your pleats. It's up to you. That's 2. And when you're sewing pillows, you might want to mark the centers of the sides as well. And then when you go to sew your pillow together, you want to make sure that your corners are perfect. And then pin each side and make it fit. So the sides have to fit if you want your corners to be perfect. And there's the last corner. There's the center, lining up the centers, and pin that in place. And now I'm ready to sew the front to the back. I am using a zipper in this pillow. I'm using a number 5 nylon coil zipper. And if you'd like to learn how to insert zippers, see Susan's Method for Zippers and Pillows on my YouTube channel, the same channel that you're watching this video on. And that is a complete step-by-step for inserting zippers and pillows. And you can use it for the Turkish corner or a knife edge pillow. And now I'm coming around to the very last stitches right there at the zipper, where I'll go over the zipper teeth and back stitch. Between the welt cord and the zipper teeth. And now the pillow is finished. And I'm ready to turn it right sides out and insert the pillow insert. I'm shoving in the corners. So this was a 22-inch pillow insert. And the corners are getting shoved in. You could also sew them if you wanted to. You could hand stitch them. But I find that just shoving them in works well. And get that in there. And make sure that the pillow fill goes up into those corners. You don't want the corners to be empty. And with the feather down pillow, it's pretty easy to get those stuffings up inside those corners. If you were using a polyester pillow form, I would recommend a faux down, gel fiber style of polyester. And now I'm pushing the seam allowance from the front to the back all the way around the pillow, and that helps the welt cord to lay flat and for the pillow to look nice. That's one of the trade secrets. And then zip closed. give that a nice fluff and puff. And this pillow is so nice and plump, it can sit up by itself. And there's that beautiful star shape Turkish corner with a double pleat. Love that style. Here's a client's project. It's a larger size pillow, cut the same proportions and finished with pattern matching on those stripes, which was beautiful, I think. But do remember that the center is cut at an arc, so you can see the stripe gets a little narrower at the center than on the corners. I hope you've enjoyed this video. You can learn more about classes and education for the workroom industry at workroomtech.com. Thank you.